Okay, Islam Sheikh the Way today. It is the 17th of February, 2026, and it's going on 10 a.m. I am drinking coffee, and I literally been resting. I have to be at Whole Foods at 2. I literally been resting for about 2.5 days, literally. So now that I've rested, I have to um, get back to the I apologize. I've seen one of my plants. The leaf is light green. I don't know why the leaf turned light green. I think I need to move them around. But nonetheless, now that I rest, I gotta get back to the schedule. And now that I'm ready to learn from you, I literally rested for about 2.5 days. I needed to. Well, first thing I wanted to tell you is Sheik Dwayne Bey. I wanted to tell you that I've been watching the movie Supernatural, and um, as in giving you preparing myself for learning from you. Imani will eventually start doing his own videos. Imani and I, we're about to. He'll have time to talk to you and email you. He's trying to stay balanced. He is still being forced to engage while he sleeps. So he's trying to stay balanced. And we are not doing what all we can do at night before we go to sleep. So we're gonna have to pick up on that. But I've been watching the movie Supernatural. Supernatural. Um, I watched some of it many years ago, but I never watched it all the way through. I don't know why I didn't. I just didn't. I think I only watched like a few episodes, and that was it. But I've watched 1 through 3, season 1, season 2, season 3, and then I went on to season 4, season 5, season 6, and it really, I must say, it's just like when you spoke of the movie, I think it was Black Mirror, and you was demonstrating how when you said, or you were implying that we should watch it, and I watched some of it, but I couldn't watch no more because it was just demonstrating too much truth. And it was just at that time, and I didn't want to see it, what the future has in store in reference to transferring human consciousness, sleeping with um, sleeping with AI, having sex with humanoid AI, the souls of humans being harnessed and um, and used, um, the energy of humans being harnessed and used, um, the corruption or the poisoning of the air, how the air is being deliberately poisoned, and not just the air, but when they're so I'm wondering why we have not, as people, stood up and really asked and really marched and said, why y'all spraying these chemicals in our air, the chemtrails? I think something that is a program. Yes, I mean, why not many people? It's like we have. Why many people are not upset about it, and now they have forever chemicals in the ground. Forever chemicals are implying that they have poisoned that part of the earth or that soil forever, and that it's never going to heal. The food will always that's there will always have some form of that chemical in it. And then also too many people have demonstrated their thoughts of the chemtrails being deliberately sprayed, not just to poison the air, which cause sickness and break down the immune system, and whatever else poison they put inside it we don't know, the average person don't know about, but to block the sun. Why would they want to block the sun? Why would they? Who is they? First of all, who is they? And why would they? Because the they would definitely have to be connected to the United States military. That's unnaturalized because it's over the air, the sky here, and the presidents and so forth. So why would they um, want to block the sun? Um, so what I found interesting with supernatural is the um, the truth about human possession and dealing with demons and human possession and so forth, as in demonstrating how demons can look like very beautiful, very handsome, and um, that body, and have really legitimate jobs. I mean, millionaires down to a demon that's on the street and homeless, billionaires, and literally are feeding off the human flesh, feeding off the human energy, possessing some type of animal, some type of beast. It also demonstrates vampires and werewolves. And it wouldn't be so far fetched to talk about it if these things weren't really happening. I mean, I all I can tell you is what was seen by many. Elon Musk, for example, he he said that he is a werewolf according to that word Elon Musk. Unless somebody used his name, that's always used his name and posted, I am a werewolf. I mean, I am a vampire. Excuse me. He said vampire. I am a vampire. He didn't say werewolf. I'm a vampire. So now, if someone used his name and did that, then possibly. But I'm telling you, in the spiritual world, I'm not accusing Elon because literally I don't want to get sued. Or I don't have much to sue for, but it's amazing how those that have power can use other use demons or unclean spirits. Not saying that he would, but this is what they do to sue those that have taken a blood oath to serve them, to serve that which is unclean. Some would say devils, demons. They, supernatural speaks of that. It shows that, demonstrates that people selling their soul for certain things, certain reasons, witches. It really, really demonstrates a truth. And once again, this is my first time watching it all the way through. I don't know why. I guess it wasn't time for me to watch it back when years and years ago. I never I you know it just I guess it just really wasn't my time to watch it. But now it was time for me to see it because when you're dealing with spirituality, this is what I see as a student of yours, Sheikh Dwayne Bafube, and the unclean spirits that exist. Then you know that you there are many forms of unclean spirits, and demons can take on many forms. Like, for instance, for example, the black Negro. The black Negro that is of humanoid AI or other is a unclean demonic spirit, and the female. It's a demonic unclean spirit that many blacks with a strand of the telepathic code have is now has been worshiping, following, and laying down with. Many, their children, or some would say kids, that's what they do. And so that's why the black Negro and the female here it's not yes, they are connected to the United States military, but it's average citizens as well. And are always stalking, saying brother, um, trying to force engage, rape. When I got here, the first thing they want to do is try to rape and molest. The first thing they want to do is try to rape and molest Imani, because the demons that we are among deal with molestation, sex, and violence, and use those forms of satanic rituals to get to harvest a soul. So once you give yourself to them, they don't care if you don't know. They don't care how innocent. They like the innocence, because the innocence, they can play with the mind easily and um, deal. And so that's dealing with children, kids who don't know. Um, and they is feeling these urges and so forth through the years, and so now they just straight out try to ritualize and normalize some form of harvesting a soul, or the reason why they should be able to stalk and force engage the body and the mind. Supernatural, the movie, is it demonstrates that all through the movie, the unclean spirits using the body, the mind as a vessel. And it's amazing to listen to here in Annapolis the frequencies and accents normalizing body and mind possession. Average citizens, or that which is connected to the unnaturalized military and police. It's amazing to see um, or to experience a forced engagement, mind and mental or body possession, while you trying to stay employed and maintain financial wealth. And so that's so as I say that, like right now, there's this thing keeps going back and forth. I don't know what they're doing, but a whole bunch of immigrants from Mexico, South Central America work over there. They're building something. I think they're building a elderly thing. I mean, all I've seen was immigrants from South Central America, Mexico. Look like that's working there. I don't, maybe some pale skin, but I haven't seen anybody else um, that's working over there. And it's right next to the apartment complex. So, in reference to that, getting to that with the South Central American Mexicans, that are unclean, they're demonic, filthy spirits. That's all it is to it, that are stalking, that I've been giving testimony about the bird people. They are demonic, filthy spirits, just like the black Negro. They are really unclean. They violent, and there are weapons that the United States, unnaturalized United States military and presidents have been using for a long time. So the pale skin. One thing I realized in dealing with them, when you could, one of the signs when you know someone has um, sold their soul to one of them, to that the unclean demonic devils that exist, is they will constantly focus on doing rituals of harm. They will try to do some form of satanic ritual, and then try to normalize it somehow. And those with the telepathic code um, will demonstrate this on a physical plane. So, for example, not all, but if one keeps drinking like their water really, really fast, or in certain times, or, um, this is pale skin, black, Negro, or Spanish speaking, or whoever, whatever, that have actually sold their soul to that which is demonic and unclean. Okay, so if they're trying to do a satanic ritual towards someone to implement harm, um, a ritual of violence, where one of the demonic spirits that can force engage the body and cause the genitals to secrete a secretion, some type of secretion, or bleed. Usually they start drinking their water a lot real fast on the physical plane, while they start plotting thoughts, or one of the filth, um, could be the Spanish speaking, or another type of demonic immigrant, or it could be a black Negro male, or other lab animals, pale skin, force engaging, another weapon. And so what happened is the person automatically may start to feel forced sharp pains in their inner organs. Um, their genitals, they use the restroom, they might see blood in the toilet stool. They wake up with a headache, so forth, because they have done a ritual of harm, violence upon towards that person, that individual. Now this is what they do. This is what many do with the telepathic code, who have sold their soul and are stuck in that low frequency um, energy, who sold their soul to the unclean demonic spirits, unclean, very unclean, in a spiritual jurisdiction. This is what they do. I've heard the frequency try to normalize or accents why they do certain things, as though they, for example, me being the possibly one of the only Moors, me and Amani here in Annapolis. So they'll start saying, "Don't mess with my kids," or accents, or people start talking about protecting their kids. So what they're trying to do is now, because remember, they already sold their soul to that which they're talking to. So they're playing a game. So, but they trying to demonstrate some form of false morality. It's like the reason sacrifice the more. They're trying to do a form of sacrifice, blood ritual. To say you harm the Moors, or harm the human being, the natural being, in the public, as long as you don't hurt my kids and my children. Knowing they already sold the children, the kids, all of them they their entire being is property of the lab animals, of the that's full of cesspools of demons. So getting back to Supernatural, the movie, it demonstrates truthfully how bodies from many walks of life, millionaires, billionaires, average middle class citizens, the homeless, filthy person on the street, can be can be possessed by a demonic spirit, have no soul. And I think I do remember that when I first saw it years ago, some of it, but as back in those days, anything I would see like that, I would just say possibly and think something else, because I didn't know how true it was. I didn't know. I truly didn't know. I had no idea how true what they were, what um this entity that's in these movies that create these movies, because I think truly some of the authors of these movies are being are have communication with entities that are, and then they put it on screen of the future. And that is not far fetched now. So that's so if a author of a movie is communicating with a entity, um, that entity, especially dealing with horror movies, with a lot of gore and blood or whatever, then you already know the entity that they were dealing with is something of a that type that feeds off humans. And it's interesting, Sheik Dwayne Baphomet, how they are still finding human flesh, human DNA, humans, human DNA in food still to this day. A lot. It hasn't stopped. It's just they finding all types of things in food. It's amazing. It's not like it's decreased. It seems like it's getting worse during this time of the change of money from fiat money to digital money. And I'm drinking this because I'm drinking coffee. This is mushroom coffee. I'm going to talk about another movie that that's been cause I know I'd be forced engaged and cause see, one of the things dealing with that which speaks Spanish, the soulless unclean spirits from South Central America and Mexico, they really filthy once again. And I have to keep saying not all because I can't say every single one of them. No, I just like saying every single more is righteous. No, but what I'm saying is the filth and a lot of the filth. What the demonic spirits want to do, a lot of them want to seem like they're helping because, see, once again, I didn't ask for their help. That's the key. Mentally. I didn't ask for them to engage mentally to tell me anything. So when one does that, they're doing it with the agenda to control the thoughts and the mind. I realized this a few years back. So what I've learned and must try, and I keep telling my we must do is listen to the thoughts. Listen to the thoughts and alchemy our mind, and so that in our body, so that if we choose to use the thought of the filth, because then we use it and not allow the filth to use us. And as I kept doing that, I knew my spirit was telling me how natural law is controlling them. Natural law. Natural law is controlling them in many ways, but they're not stupid, or um they're very um clever. So once if I decide to use the thought, I have to be careful in many ways, but know, because but first of all, know truth. I know that natural law, the cosmic laws are controlling them. And in that, because they are governed by these laws, they are governed by spiritual laws. But in that, I must be careful still, because if I don't do what I'm supposed to do to keep my mind balanced, then it can be weakened for example, while I'm sleeping, they were force engaging, especially that which used the television and radio to force engage the television, because they've been that which the entity that works through the television. They've been doing that for a long time. They have specialized um, these entities through the television, the radio, and so forth for a very, very, very long time. Force engagement while we're sleeping and so forth. So they have specialized in a lot of mental or transferring consciousness, and with the end result of taking the soul and making transhuman. So it's not something that was they just learned how to do. Where in my case, I'm remembering the strength of my mind and remembering that the cosmic universe that governs all spiritually, mentally, and physically, is controlling them as well, because we are in prophetic times, and those prophetic times is that of their destruction. Another movie I'm going to speak about, because in is Wheels of Time. Wheels of Time also is another movie that demonstrates how there is a spirit at work that was that literally was seducing one of the most higher beings. They call some would call them witches, um, but they were of a law that dealt with elements, and they had a law of to maintain a certain frequency. So in the last season of Wheel of Time, it demonstrates how, well, all through this season, but it demonstrates how some of them sold their soul to that which was unclean, and that in that, and they were in the council, and at the right time when it was uncovered who was working for that which is unclean, devils and so forth, there was a huge war, a huge war between them. And then all these different pockets of low frequency started to pop up that was hidden, because they were smart and was able to hide their low frequency thoughts, because that's that's how the demonic spirits that that seek to kill and destroy the high frequency beings, natural laws, operate. So there were many um, cells, or witches, or priestesses. They were priestesses. They were called witches by others, but they were priestesses of higher beings and elements and elementals and so forth, that end up being seduced and sold their soul to that which was dark and unclean, that fed off humans and did horrible things, just like today. And some of them would be possessed. They were possessed mentally. Um, so possessed mentally and body wise. Another movie I think is interesting, Star Wars. See, I think once again, these authors are communicating with entities, and the entities are trying to either demonstrate a truth and or manifest a what could be perceived truth. So, and the reason why I say that is because we are on the plane of manifest, and too many who are not right in their thoughts and their behavior are for humanoid AI. So it wouldn't be so much of a question about humanoid AI if people weren't if it was spoke about in all in that which what they do that is unclean and full of demonic spirits. But see, they're not talking about it. And anyone who is not in bondage completely mentally or has become a transhuman knows something is wrong with that, even if they have the telepathic code, which Imani Gray Bay and Arrington-Bey has rejected. Something is really, really wrong with that. To want to allow robots or some form of AI to work in each and every home, make smart homes, that's only suggesting there is a transformation of humans where some of them are soulless that can possibly, not all, I'm not suggesting this is with all of them with smart homes, that can live in such energy fields. All the while the chemtrails are being sprayed. The sun, according to sun, the agenda is to block the sun. We have forever chemicals being in the ground where these chemicals will not, it's suggested, will never ever be able to be cleansed out of our soil, the earth. They're finding human DNA in food more, not less. It's becoming more of a normality. Human DNA. So I think, in reference to Star Wars and those that are promoting AI and to be friends with certain AI, not, I can't say all, but like they like to R2D2, and I think they are doing that deceitfully because they are trying to implement in a low frequency world and completely, if they could, get rid of natural, divine, and cosmic laws. So we are on a plane to manifest. If these people want to keep implementing it as though it's natural, like this is like we are so behind. We are so behind star wise, which we are not, because everything that is in the cosmos is in us. Whether you are a pale skinned with your soul and your melon, South Central American with your soul and your melon that's not haven't been sold. I'm talking about um, that which is in the status of African Americans, which I wish so much they will stop saying I'm black and I'm African American. These, when I hear these entities smile and say African Americans created so much, they are great inventors. So they might try to pump up that which in the status of African American. They already know that they laughing at them that's in that status in black, because they know that is taken from They're not in their true status. So they're laughing. They're laughing and saying these things, already knowing law that black should never been put upon us in the first place. The word black, the color black, or African American. They know this. So they're laughing. If anything, I want to get to my people that I love. Stop calling yourself black. Stop saying black history. It is a curse. It is a spell. You have to stop. It is no pride in it. Which don't care nothing for you or what we have invented or who we are, laugh because they know. They know. It's good to see us as returning back to the names of our tribe instead of saying black or nationality. Instead of saying black and African American. That is so well. So that's what I would say to my people with the soul still that have not sold themselves to the beast and that still have their mind. Those the priests that have not sold their souls to the beast and still have their minds that have not been transformed. They're laughing. They know while that which continue there's some that do know, but that's why they say black and promote black. That's why they do it because they know and they're working for the beast. That's why they say I'm African American because they're working for the beast and have worked for the beast for a long time. That's why. But there's many that just don't know or they've been transformed and they would never know in this lifetime. So anyway, moving forward, um, so Star Wars, I think, is it what's in the cosmos is in us, and so that is to me, Sheik and Wayne Baffle Bay, is a clue. If that which is promoting, we need to go to the stars, or we're behind cosmically, but yet cannot speak truth about what we are among or make changes here, nor nonetheless or are behind the doors doing satanic rituals, um, drinking blood, eating human flesh, or doing rituals of whatever it may be. See, one of the things that's a trickery that many people don't realize is that it's just like when I see African Americans saying Black history, and if you are someone awakening, you trying to know your culture, and you like this person is this is, and you think you're Black, you going by you're Black, you're African American, and you read all this stuff about us, you feeling very confident that that person might be knowledgeable and on the right side of you, all the while hiding the truth that we should never have accepted the terms African American, Black, Negro in the first place. That is a term for a species of another kind which has now developed that exists with this with melanin, that you might say a black, or they could be pale skin, or they can be from South Central America, a Negro. They can be from anywhere, a species, a transhuman of another kind. So, but if you don't know, you would think that person um is legitimate. So that's the same. So what we are among today are tricksters, people that have a lot of money and present some form of um change, possibly demonstrating the ecosystem, healing the earth with different forms of technologies, all the while, because all the while they are serving the beast. They are, some of them could be the beast. That's the thing with Star Wars. Who, the Sith, for example, he was in the council. He was part of the council, the high council, and trying to fight against that which supposed to be harming the galaxy, or what the galaxy of their count, or their the galaxy and so forth. But he was smart, and he was um, clever, and had a lot of followers. And when they found out, the Jedi, he had already gained so much power, and so many people um had already been killed and destroyed, and so forth. You cannot be a vampire and not be part of the beast. You cannot be saying you're a vampire and not be part of the beast. You cannot be werewolf in that low frequency and say you not and not be part of that beast. That's just thoughts. That's just common sense. The nature of them is to take, is to not respect freedom, is to take, kill, and destroy, is to deceive. The last thing I want to talk about Sheik Dwayne Bey is Laverna Johnson. She is one out of many of the military cadets that, or soldiers, excuse me, that was murdered and raped. You know, when I first found out or read about her, was years and years ago here in Annapolis. I didn't know, and I was just surprised. But the information that's out now was not out then. At one time, I saw a list of things, and then it was erased. I couldn't find it nowhere else. But she was in Iraq, and she was 19 years old, and she was when they found her, the army said that well, they, according to they call it a military rape, according to the article I read. But this was years ago, and once again, when I kept trying to find more information, at one time I saw a lot of information, and then the next time I didn't see it no more. I was like, where's the information at? I didn't know that her parents were going through legalities and still getting the information sent to them and fighting her case. I had no idea. I, you know, I assumed that they just accepted, and even I maybe because I didn't know. Not saying accept it as in they didn't want to fight, but as I learned more and more what I was among and dealing with how the unnaturalized United States military can use different forms, different weapons of mass destruction that are in bodies to force engage, send forth sharp pains, attack your children, attack you in your sleep, keep you from attack your family, keep you from not being able to maintain um, your constitutional rights. I then I just was I in my thoughts I was thinking I'm gonna keep this picture up. Then I started to look and I researched and I saw others also were fighting because their loved ones joined the military and their loved ones were murdered and were raped. So what was interesting is I find now, okay, all this information now, when I look at that, there's a lot of information about her and what happened and how um, they tried to say she committed suicide. Her genitals were burnt with some form of chemicals to erase um, so if the autopsy, no one could really say what really happened. That's to burn genitals. I've heard that before through the years. In other situations, is to hide rape, violent rape, not just rape, but violent rape. Okay, so if someone is violently being raped, and you don't want this that to see how violent that person was raped, then you do things like then that animal, that beast would do that. Because remember, we are among demonic spirits that are that look to be average citizens. They in the military, they in the police. These are demon unclean spirits. They millionaires, billionaires. They can be homeless. They can be middle class. So, but they have um, given themselves to that beast. So when I sometimes I would think about her being over there, can you, in a foreign land, and her enemies are her fellow soldiers. Her fellow her fellow soldiers are her true enemies. So here I am in my land of where I was born and have been, and my enemies are that which is around that's inhabiting this land as well. The enemy is not Somalia. The enemy is not some other Haiti or some other place where they try to focus on so much. The enemies are here in the unnaturalized United States government with the humanoid AI controlling. So this is another reason when I hear that which claim to be that we are so behind cosmically and star wise. They are using deceit, because if they were truly for the uplifting of this land, of where we were at, then they will tackle the enemy that's homegrown first, not the enemy that's out there. Because the cosmos is in us. It might not be in them because they sold their soul and whatever. They might be something of um, not of natural being. But the cosmos is in me. and other natural beings, high frequency beings like me. We don't have to go and get a ship and go somewhere to another planet in that manner. Islam.